Texas Governor Rick Perry says government regulations are crushing entrepreneurs, so he wants New York and other states to know that his state is open for business.
Texas, land of opportunity, home of creative renegades,
where dreams become reality.
Texas is calling. Your opportunity awaits.
Well, New York is just one of the latest areas in Perry's crosshairs with a $1 million TV ad campaign. California Governor Jerry Brown and Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel were not so happy when they were targeted. Governor Perry joins us now live on America's News Headquarters. Great to see you, Governor.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
All right, let me ask you about this because Texas says, you say you're open for business. There are a lot of states where people say they're crushed under taxes, under regulation. You say you're taking off some of those restrictor plates to make it easier for folks.
Well, we've been doing that for about a decade in Texas. And I think it's a good blueprint. It's a good test. It's a good experiment, if you will, for the country to take a look at, a place that has relatively low tax burden, a regulatory climate that's fair and predictable, a legal system that doesn't allow for oversuing. You know, we passed the most sweeping tort reform in the nation in 2003, and we continue to focus and fund accountable public schools so you have that workforce that's available no matter what your requirements are. And it's been in place now long enough. I think it's totally and absolutely unmistakable that type of model works. It allows for jobs to be created. And if Site Selection Magazine, if Forbes, if Wall Street Journal, CNBC, I mean a whole list of various and sundry business groups that take a look at, and Texas has the best business climate in the world. We created more jobs. As a matter of fact, over the last 10 years, 30% of all the new jobs created in America were in Texas. So that is a model not only that will work in the state of Texas, it'll work in any state. And we compete against each other. And that's what this is all about. It's the 50 laboratories of innovation that are out competing for the jobs to keep America at the front of the race, if you will, for innovation, et cetera. So we believe in competition. So just like the Miami Heat is coming into San Antonio tonight to try to take a victory, I'm going to be in New York and Connecticut over the next few days trying to explain to people why they should come to Texas to expand, to relocate, et cetera.
Speaking of Connecticut, we asked folks to send in questions, and I had a few people say to me they know the governor is going to be up there in Connecticut. Any chance he's going to try to woo some of the gun manufacturers from Connecticut down to Texas?
Well, we're looking at across the board. It's the pharmaceutical industry, it's the financial industry, obviously the weapons industry. It's not a particularly friendly climate in Connecticut or New York for the weapons industry. Remington's at Ilion, New York, and obviously Colt and Stag Arms, some of those really great old companies. And we want them to be in a place that is comfortable, that wants them, plus they get to keep more of what they earn. So it's a win-win from my perspective as you relocate to a climate that is really supportive of what you're doing, whether you're in the pharmaceutical industry or whether you're in the financial industry or whether you're in the weapons manufacturing industry. Texas is a very friendly state on the business side.
All right, another Twitter question. This comes from Dana, who is Lone Wolf 23. She says, President Obama promised to aid West Texas. FEMA denied that aid. What is your response that you asked now that you thought you were going to get certain things from the administration, and the assessment from FEMA is no, after that explosion that was so devastating?
And it's really troubling for us, whether it was Oklahoma City, whether it was the World Trade Center. There have been some very clear indications from Washington, D.C. through the years that even though it wasn't a natural disaster, it was a man-made disaster, FEMA still comes in and does their part. The more troubling part for me was that we had our local officials, our state officials working with FEMA every step of the way, and there was never any indication from them that there was going to be a problem from the standpoint of this being clearly a disaster that deserved federal response. And the president stood in Waco, Texas, at a memorial for those that were lost during that explosion, and he made the commitment. He said, we're going to stand with you. We are going to make sure that you have the support that you need. I'm going to take the president at his word, and hopefully when he finds out that FEMA, for whatever reason, decided not to send that request forward, that he'll intervene and do the right thing.
All right, something that will not surprise you. The most popular question we got across the board. Michael Mays was one of the first to ask it. He says, are you going to run for the presidency in 2016?
Well, we still have work to do back in Texas, so It's a long time till 2016, so I'm greatly appreciative of his interest. But special session is within a couple of days of being finished in Texas, and I'll make a decision about whether I'm going to run for re-election. And 2016 will still be out in front of us, and we'll make an appropriate decision at the right time.
Okay, and quickly, we have a little bit of time left. I just wanted to ask you about the new law, the Merry Christmas law, a lot of folks are calling it, dealing with religious freedom in Texas. What's that about?
It's fascinating that you would have to pass a piece of legislation to give comfort and frankly, to protect people from doing what we've done for decades in the state of Texas, which is to say, Happy Hanukkah or Merry Christmas, to give religious freedom, protect religious freedom. Why we had to do that is really kind of reflective of where the political correctness has gone in the country. But our legislator felt it was important to protect the young children who wanted to have a Christmas tree, who wanted to put Christmas ornaments on, to put up a nativity scene, whatever it might be. And that is now allowed in the state of Texas.
All right. Governor Perry, safe travels to you as you head further north this week, and keep in touch. Yeah, thanks. Well, are we